Hi, it's Sandra from Asexualise.com and author of Asexual Perspectives out on Amazon. So you know I have this rule where I don't date heterosexuals. Okay, so tomorrow I have a date and it's with a heterosexual guy. So is it a heterosexual date or is it a friendship date? Well, whenever you date a heterosexual guy, to be honest, even if you want just friendship for it, they'll have the fact that it's a heterosexual date in mind because that's the way they think, okay? I could be being a little bit cruel in the sense that I have told this person I can't be his girlfriend because I'm asexual. Now, this is so important, okay? If you are dating a heterosexual or a homosexual, you need to let them know the truth. You cannot hide here, don't expect 6 months down the line, if you really like each other, to then be in this predicament of, oh, I don't know how to tell them I'm asexual. That's not fair to them. You need to be totally upfront and totally honest with them. And they either accept you for who you are or they don't bother, okay? You really need to know this. It is so important and you need to be confident. Asexuality is a sexual orientation in its own right, okay? Don't listen to what people say, naysayers, people that say silly things like it doesn't exist, Well, would we go around saying, well, heterosexuality is non-existent, homosexuality doesn't exist? No, okay? Asexuality is a genuine sexual orientation where you don't experience sexual attraction. There is no debate about it. It's not, like an auction, you can bid on it. Asexuality is a real thing. It's a real sexual orientation. And we're playing in an adult world, even if people are narrow-minded and they don't want to play in this truly adult world. We live in an adult world. We're adults here, right? Even the kids among us, like myself, of course. I'm a quirky kid too. Even the quirky kids amongst us, we know people have different sexual orientations, And to be quite honest, the whole sexuality thing is huge. There's men wishing they were women, there's women wishing they were men, there's men changing to women, women changing into men, there's guys dressing up as women, don't want to actually physically turn into a woman, and vice versa, There's tons of stuff going on. There's guys into girls, girls into guys, and it's just phenomenal, There's no two people are the same, and sexuality is huge, And you need to take your own sexuality of asexuality really seriously. And you need to let the people who you date know, okay? This is only fair to them. If you get a bad reaction from them, you know not to go on that date with them, don't you? Because if they're not going to accommodate you from the beginning and even remotely, think that the idea might be possible, then they're not going to be understanding. They're not going to be the right person for you. You're going to be, having an uphill battle, and you don't want that. So tomorrow night, I've agreed to meet this guy for drink and food at a place of my choice. So again, I'm in control. The good thing is if a person is interested in you, flirting with you, chatting you up, and wanting to date you, you are the one that gets to call the shots. Okay. You are the one that gets to call the shots. Okay, if there's a mutual, things going off, fireworks, whether even asexual fireworks, it's not about control it in the relationship, but it's about the very beginning when you have a sense of being out of control, maybe of your feelings, and you just want to be grounded in yourself. I'm not talking about controlling the other person. Don't ever do that. It's totally wrong. What I'm saying is controlling your environment so that you feel safe. Because let's face it, when you're dating sexuals, even where it's a friendship date or a heterosexual, homosexual date, asexual date as opposed to a asexual to asexual date, it can be quite scary, and you need to be in an environment where you feel safe and familiar. And this place where I go to is actually the same place as I hold asexual meetups. So it's an environment that I like, and the guy goes to the place himself. So it's fine. And so how did this all come about? Well, you're going to really laugh when I told you that I got chatted up over some peppers. Peppers, of all things. I've never been chatted up over peppers in my life. Now, I'm quite confident with heterosexual guys because I know I can get a heterosexual guy in the blink of an eye. You know, I get offers from heterosexual guys constantly on the internet, for example. I mean, I know the internet is a bit dodgy sometimes, you know, but these guys are always messaging me, are you married? Are you single? You know, and the rest of it. And I can get a young, foreign, sexual guy if I want. You know, it's not difficult for me. And so I'm very confident in the sexual world. I spent half of my life in heterosexual relationships, half of my whole life. I was in heterosexual relationships from the age of 15 years old. So I know what it's like to be in a heterosexual relationship and to be in that life and that world. It's a life and world I don't directly want to be in a sexual way anymore. So what's happening tomorrow is I'm going on this date, which I've told him I'm just meeting for friendship. I can't be his girlfriend because I'm asexual. He knows I'm asexual. So I was telling you I got chatted up over some peppers. So I'm in my local supermarket. Bear in mind I go in there like several times every week. And then I'm looking for peppers for my guinea pigs. You know, my guinea pig's behind. You know, look at the card. The 3 card is for Chestnut, 'cause she had her birthday recently. The day after mine, actually. And I had my 21st Mindset birthday. So, yeah, so I was looking for peppers. And these peppers, like the red ones, there's red and green mixed in the bag. The red ones are all squishy and I was getting gross stuff over my hands. And then this guy starts talking to me and says something about the fact about not being fussy. But he didn't say it like that. But I was really strong with him. I'm like, these are for my guinea pigs, you know. They won't just eat anything. If a human won't consume it, they won't consume it. You know, so I was strong with him and confident with him, which is what you need to be with sexuals and anyone. You need to be strong and confident as possible. Okay, you really do. So they know where they stand and boundaries are in place from the beginning. You don't take rubbish from people, okay? But you still be nice and polite at the same time and gorgeous like you are, obviously. So, yeah, so we got chatting about that, and then he started talking about animals, and he used to have loads of animals, and then I found out he came from Turkey, so he's foreign. I mean, you know, I'm not interested in British guys that much, you know? Some of the asexual British guys are quite nice, but I don't get attracted to them enough to want to kiss them. This guy is Turkish, but he's 42. He's older than me. Yes, someone who is in birth certificate age older than me, okay? I'm younger than 42. I'm not 42, okay? So there you know, I'm younger than that, right? And I'm much younger in my mannerisms sometimes. It depends what clothes I'm wearing as to what age I actually look. So he's older, and you know, you might say, well, what's the problem with that? Okay, so say for example, I did end up liking him more than a friend, right? Which at the moment I just want to keep him in the friend zone really strongly, keep him in the friend zone. But just say I did, you know, I'm not sure I could kiss a 42-year-old. The oldest guy I've ever kissed in my life is 31 years, and he was my ex, you know, and I was with him for a very long time. He looked about 10 years younger than he was, right? Well, so what is he, 31? So yeah, he kind of looked more like 23, I guess. But, you know, he was a three, well, I'm not going to say. Anyway, I don't like to reveal my birth certificate age. But, yeah, so I've kind of told you now that he was younger than me, so you kind of know that I'm over that, but never mind. So, yeah, so basically, yeah, I'm quite excited. So this guy lives up the road from me, right? We have stuff in common. He lives up the road from me. I mean, literally a 5-minute walk or less. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he's foreign, he's thin, and he dresses really smartly, and he's very charismatic. And we got on really well. He's hyper, like me. He loves talking, because he was talking to me for over an hour, chatting me up in the pepper aisle. And started talking about asexuality in the pepper aisle. Now, bear with me. Remember, there's a guy, customer coming. I think he was enjoying the conversation. I think he found it quite interesting. There was a cleaner in this supermarket down my aisle, just near me and him. There's a shopping trolley with some peppers that he keeps moving backwards and forwards, bless him, as we're talking. And there's 2 guys trying to restock the shelves While there's other customers, including like an Indian family, maybe they were watching over me, just at the other side of the aisle. So it's quite hilarious. And when I was, I got to talking to saying that I'm an actual author, as well as working my day job. And because he said that one of his friends has a pet, and their pet shops for animal food in a certain supermarket. And my department store is connected to that supermarket. They're part of the same company. So this is how we all got talking, it all interlinked. So yeah, we have quite a lot in common. And so I brought up the fact that I'm an author, and the fact that my latest book is about asexuality. And I just came out with it, I said, well, I help people to be educated about asexuality. I'm asexual, I've got this website, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, and I thought, I need to tell this guy, it's kind of hard to drop in conversation. I need to. And he's like, shh, what's that? And then he wanted to know more. And it's like, it's fine. I said, don't worry, I don't worry about it, and everyone could hear. And I'm like, there's no point in being shy around me. Am I shy? He's not a shy guy, really. He didn't know about asexuality because I was using the word sexual. It's so funny how many sexuals, get really sort of coy about the word asexual because it's got sexual in the word itself. And I used to be like that. When I first found out I was asexual, I couldn't even use the word asexual because I didn't even like the word sexual that was within the word asexual. So it's kind of got really crazy. And and I couldn't even talk about sex, Before I found out I was asexual, I didn't speak to sex. I didn't speak about sex to anyone, I just didn't. And it was a topic, I tell a lie, I talked to my ex when I was with him, I didn't even talk to my best friends or anything about sex, I just kept it all secret. And now I talk about sex pretty much on a daily basis to help asexuals all around the globe find out what they like, what they don't like. And when you're dating as an asexual, you talk about sex, because you don't want it, usually, but you're what would you do? Would you like touching? Would you like kissing? Do you like touching down below? Do you just like touching on the shoulders, on the cheeks? Do you like kissing on the cheeks? Do you like kissing in the mouth? And this is the type of thing you go through, and you end up having conversations that are sometimes sexually based, because although we lack sexual attraction, sexual behaviour is not necessarily the same as sexual attraction. Well, they are different, but they can be interlinked. So if you're sexually attracted to someone, you usually exhibit sexual behaviour. However, you can have sexual behaviour without being sexually attracted, and this is when it gets quite confusing. So I like passionate kissing. I like to get excited naturally through kissing. That's quite a sexual behaviour, If I get passionate, I'm really snogging with the tongue, I'm getting intimate, I'm sort of feeling my guy's shoulders, being really sensual with him. It's sensual because I'm feeling my guy's shoulders, but that is classed as sexual behaviour in a sexual world. So this is where a lot of the confusion lies between asexual, sexual behaviour and sexual attraction. So I've told him tomorrow, and I'm just meeting up with him as a friend. When he texts me to confirm the date, arrange it, because I hadn't got my phone on me, he hadn't got his phone on him, I gave him my number. But when I gave him my number, I gave him my business card with my other quirky mentoring, quirky coaching, quirky academy, blog trainer UK websites on it. So he knows I'm into business, it's just your mobile. I use it for everything. I use it for work, and I use it for personal stuff and my day job and everything. So I gave it to him, but it was a professional card, so he kind of knows that I'm a professional as well. So the things I like about this guy, he's foreign for a start. He's been married, he's divorced. Now, I don't think I've ever dated a guy who's friendship date or otherwise that's actually been divorced. Actually, I tell a lie. But, I've never had a date with someone who's been divorced, but I met up with a homo-romantic friend recently, and he was amazing. He was Indian. We got on like a house on fire. It's such a shame he was a homo-romantic, and he's been married and divorced in the past. So, yeah, I guess I have hung out with someone. So what am I hoping to get out this date? Now, whenever you go to a date, you've got to be really confident. You know what you want to get out of it. Begin with the end in mind. So, if you're beginning with the end in mind, you need to know that you are asexual, and they need to know it too. You need to think what you want out of it. Do you want friendship, or do you want more? And you need to think what your long-term goal is. So this guy lives just up the road from me. Now, my ideal relationship would be with an asexual, younger, foreign guy, ideally Indian, in his 20s, who lived around the corner from me, right? This guy is not Italian, he looks Italian. He's Turkish. He lives up the road from me. You know, how wow is that? I don't want to smoke or I don't want to drink. If he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink. He eats red meat. I don't eat red meat. I prefer a non-red meat eater. But hey, he's very charismatic. He's thin. I don't like big guys in general. I don't like muscly guys. But he goes to the gym, so he does do muscly stuff, you know. Muscly stuff. Sounds quite funny. But he dresses really smartly. So there's a lot of advantages, you know. But I'm putting him in the friend zone. I'm just going to meet him as a friend. And what I'm hoping to achieve is that I get a friend who lives just up the road from me that I can hang out with. Maybe on a regular basis, kind of, you know. Because if he just lives up the road from me, it's not like I'm going to have to pay loads of money in transport to go and see him. You know, if I get bored or he gets bored, some nights we might be able to hang out together. I think we'll get on really well because we kind of got on like a house on fire, like when we were talking. I know he's very attracted to me. I could tell that. And it's kind of an honour for someone to be really attracted to you. You know, it's nice. You know, just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say I don't like to be pursued. I don't like to be flirted with. Don't like to be chatted up. But the thing you have to bear in mind is when a guy's doing this to you, like he was doing this to me yesterday in the supermarket, he's probably very experienced in doing it to a lot of women. You know, and it's like, So, you know, but I'm a very confident girl. I'm more confident with sexuals, actually, than I am asexuals in some way. I mean, asexuals, right? What I worry about with asexuals is they can emotionally cheat on you. And they can flirt with tons and tons of girls, you know? And the thing is some asexual guys, you know, they're seeing experienced ones. And they're little sweethearts sometimes. And they're amazing. But then if they start getting confident, which is great, they need to be, but if they can start getting too confident, it's like then they're talking to loads of women and you're just like a number to them. And then they're no better, really, than heterosexuals. The only thing that's better about them is they're not going to want sex from you. Do you see what I mean? They're no better because they're still cheating. You know, you're just a number to them. It's like, well, I'll go in this group and chat that woman up. There's a difference between chatting to loads of women to get to know them, to see which is the right person for them, for a long-term, committed, serious relationship, than a guy who's going around chatting lots of women to boost his own ego, you know, to make him feel good about himself. And because, you know, he's then got loads of women lined up for him who, you know, just make him... It's all about him. Do you see what I mean? It's centred about him and how good he feels. Obviously, he's not feeling very good. He's feeling really insecure and stuff. He's having to have all these women boosting his ego constantly like that. But it's good to keep your options open, though. Do not just think you have to go for one guy. I mean, it's good to have a lot of asexual people that are possible relationship takers later on. Don't get me wrong, but it's the mindset and the way you go about it and your attitude towards it. So, you know, I'm friends with lots of asexual guys, and some of them are potential people I wouldn't mind being in a relationship with in the future. But I have to keep my options open. I can't close my options. You have to keep your options open until that person, male or female, you know, is, or trans, or, you know, whatever form it may take, unless they're going to be committed to you, you don't commit to them. You can't make yourself exclusive to someone who's not going to be exclusive to you, you know? And you need to get a good person for you. No, I want a good guy if I ever do get into a relationship in the future. I'm quite happy being single, to be honest, because relationships are a bit of a nightmare. But, you know, if I ever go, I want a good guy for me, you know, a really good guy. I want him to look good, obviously, but I also want his personality to be wonderful. You know, unfortunately, a lot of the guys I get attracted to are the ones that are really, really good looking, that a lot of women would like. And, you know, they're probably going to chat up a lot of women. So, yeah, that's a downside of it. But anyway, I'm going to go on this date tomorrow. Whether it's a heterosexual date or a friendship date, I'm kind of not sure. I think for him, it's a heterosexual date, but then he kind of got by my last texters that I just wanted it to be friendship because I can't be his girlfriend because I can't have sex and he'll want that. And then, but so it's a friendship date to me. And yeah, I just want someone I can hang out with a foreign guy, get on really well with, who'll live up the road from me. I mean, that's going to be great, isn't it? He loves cooking, which is amazing. I hate cooking, so that's a Brucey bonus too. You know, there's a game show which says about bonus in the UK, Brucey bonus. People who watched a game show years ago will know what I'm talking about. It's just like a saying. So, yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. I hope to let you know how it went. And keep being you. Keep believing that you can get a good person for you. Keep being confident and know you are absolutely, utterly gorgeous in your own right. And there is plenty of reasons why anyone should want to be with you. Even though you're asexual, keep knowing asexuality is a sexual orientation in its own right that any person who wants to date you needs to take completely seriously. If they don't, they're out the door, right? Okay? Don't mess around with these people. They don't deserve your love, care, time or attention. This guy's trying to get his head around it, you know? I'll give him his due. He's trying to get his head around it, you know? And he says, I respect you. And he even put in the text, you know, I respect the fact of what you said about your asexuality, you know? I respect that each person's different, you know? I mean, I did have to pull him up on something because he started saying about not being so fussy. And I said about, obviously, my guinea pigs need the peppers. And I said I have loads of food allergies. And he's like, it's so funny because, you know, there's like sex. Have you tried sex? And, you know, obviously, I'm like, yes, I've had sex. My ex was good at sex. I don't want it anymore. I don't like it. I don't need it. I don't actually look at a guy and ever think I want sex with him. So, you know, you have to put these people straight. And he was talking about my food allergies. He goes, well, maybe you just haven't tried it. Food, you know, which is kind of funny considering asexual joke with food. And normally people say, have you tried sex? It was like, well, have you tried these foods? It's like, of course I've tried it. I know I'm allergic to it, right? So I said to him, I just looked at him and said, you need to accept people for who they are. If I say I've got food allergies and intolerances, I have. I explained some of the symptoms, but I shouldn't have to explain. I said, you just have to accept it. So I was strong with him. This guy needs a strong woman in his life, whether it's a friend or more. He needs that. He's that type of guy that needs to be told, you know, this is who I am. You accept me for who I am, or you don't bother. You know, you have to be really strict, you know. You have to be really confident in who you are. Now, I love you to bits. Go out there and be ace, because you are ace. You are so awesome beyond belief. And you're incredibly amazing. You've got huge depth to your character. And being asexual gives you very special qualities that not a lot of people who are more superficial, dare I say it, have got. So, you know, where they're all going in looks and appearances and just how a person is on the outside, asexuals will look more on the inside of a person. And they will, you know, love from their heart and their mind and their soul. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. I love you lots. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe and please share. I really, really want to get asexuality more well known throughout the whole entire globe. Then we can all live in harmony side by side, asexuals and sexuals. This is what I want for us. This is what we need. We need to unite and we need to be strong. Don't forget, I will be back again and I will look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye-bye.